In the vast, frozen landscapes of the north, life can be incredibly fragile. For a newborn wolf pup, this is a harsh reality.
Depending on the year and location, the survival rate for pups in their first year can be shockingly low.
Sometimes less than 50%. Many succumb to disease. Or malnutrition. But the greatest challenge, the final exam for survival, isn't just weathering the elements. It's learning how to hunt. It's the moment a young wolf must contribute to the formidable task of bringing down prey that can be many times its size. But here's the thing, a wolf pup's first kill, that image we have of a solitary moment of triumph, is a profound misunderstanding. It's not a solo mission. It's not one dramatic event. It's a lesson learned over months. And taught by an entire family. Let's call him Kael. His education begins not with a chase, but with a warm, shared, and frankly, regurgitated meal. And a bond so powerful, it turns the beakest pup into a vital member of one of nature's most intelligent teams. This is the story of that education. The story begins in darkness. Not the vast, star-dusted darkness of the wilderness, but a close, warm, and living darkness. It's the inside of a den, a hollowed-out space, shielded from the world. Here, a new life has begun. Kael is born weighing a mere pound, a squirming bundle of dark fur. He's blind, his eyes sealed shut. He's deaf, his ears unable to hear his mother's soft breath. His world is simple, the warmth of his littermates, the ache of an empty belly, and the reassuring scent of his mother.
Let's call her Anka.
She is the breeding female, the heart of this family. For the first couple of weeks, Anka's body is Kael's entire universe. He is utterly dependent and can't even regulate his own body temperature.
The pack is his furnace.
Anka rarely leaves, sustained by her family. Kael's father, older siblings, and other relatives who all work to support her and the new litter. One evening, Kael's father, a wolf we'll call Borin, returns from a hunt with two of Kael's older siblings.
Kael senses their arrival through the vibration of the ground.
And the tantalizing scent of fresh meat clinging to their fur. Anka greets them. And Borin brings forth a portion of the kill he carried back for her, not in his jaws, but in his stomach.
This is a crucial link in a chain of giving that will define Kael's life.
A week or so later, Kael experiences this for himself.
His eyes are now open, cloudy blue, and struggling to focus.
He can waddle to the den entrance. When the hunters return, the pups swarm them, licking insistently at the corners of their mouths. This behavior triggers a reflex.
And an adult brings up Kael's first meal that isn't milk. A warm, partially digested slurry of meat.
To us, it sounds gruesome.
To Kael, it is life itself. This regurgitated meal is the pack's first tangible investment in his future. Wolf packs aren't the rigid, dominance-obsessed hierarchies they've once thought. They are, for the most part, families.
The breeding pair, like Anka and Borin, are typically the parents leading their own offspring. This meal isn't a tribute to a king.
It's a family dinner, served to its most vulnerable members.
It's Kael's first lesson, and it has nothing to do with teeth and claws.
And everything to do with dependence, trust, and the power of the group. At around 3 weeks old, Kael's world cracks open. His ears begin to pick up sounds, and his vision sharpens. The den, once a universe, now feels like a cage.
Driven by curiosity, he pokes his nose out into a sensory explosion.
The sky is a blinding blue.
The wind carries a million new scents. Pine needles, damp earth,
The musky trace of a passing hare. He stumbles back, overwhelmed.
But the fear is quickly replaced by the pull of this new world. His siblings tumble out behind him. The adult wolves watch with patient tolerance. A yearling, one of his older sisters, gives Kael a gentle nudge, a quiet acceptance into the world beyond the den. A few weeks later, when the pups are around 8 weeks old, the pack moves. The den has served its purpose, but it's time to graduate to the next stage, the rendezvous site. The journey might only be a mile, but to Kael's short legs, it feels like a continent. The pack leads them to a sheltered meadow, a communal living area, a training ground, and a daycare, all in one. Here, the pups can roam and play in relative safety while the main hunting party is away. Often with a yearling or another adult staying behind as a designated babysitter.
For Kael, this meadow is paradise.
There are insects to chase and litter mates to spar with. He feels the strength growing in his legs and the confidence building in his heart. The rendezvous site is his new world, a playground with invisible fences, patrolled by the watchful eyes of his family.
He is free, but he is never alone. The real lessons are about to begin.
At the rendezvous site, Kael's life becomes one continuous lesson, taught through the universal language of play.
For a wolf pup, play isn't just fun. It's the most critical part of their education.
It's practice for the deadly serious business of staying alive. The first subject is ambush.
Kael and his siblings spend hours stalking one another.
One pup flattens itself to the ground, inches forward.
Then explodes in a clumsy rush that often ends in a chaotic tumble.
He's learning patience, stealth, and that crucial moment of action.
Next up, the chase.
A pup will grab a stick or a feather and dash off, triggering an instinctive pursuit.
They weave through trees and splash through streams. It looks like fun, but it's a rigorous workout. Building the endurance and agility essential for running down prey.
They are learning to anticipate movements and work together to flank their quarry.
Even if it's just a sister with a mouthful of moss.
Today. Perhaps the most important lesson comes from wrestling. And these play fights are constant and intense, teaching the delicate art of bite inhibition. A pup that bites a sibling too hard is met with a sharp yelp of pain and immediate retaliation.
The message is clear. Our jaws are weapons, but in a family, they must be controlled. A cooperative hunter can't afford to injure its teammates. Finally, there's strength training. A tattered piece of hide or a bone becomes the object of furious tug-of-war contests. This isn't just about winning. It's about developing the raw power needed to hold on to large, powerful prey.
Throughout all this, the adult wolves act as mentors and referees.
They don't actively teach like humans do. Instead, they provide the secure environment and the example.
A young adult might initiate a game with a playbow, inviting a chase that subtly reinforces the right moves.
The lessons aren't spoken, they are lived.
Kael is being forged into a hunter, not by instruction, but by immersion. All through the glorious, exhausting, and essential work of play.
By autumn, Kael is a changed wolf.
At 4 months old, he's a lanky adolescent with paws that still look too big for his body.
His baby blue eyes have shifted to a piercing, intelligent gold.
He's now eating solid chunks of meat brought back by the hunting party.
One crisp evening, the pack stirs with a different kind of energy.
The hunt is on. But tonight, something is different.
As the experienced hunters move out, for the first time, Kael and his siblings are allowed to follow.
This is his crossing the threshold.
He's no longer a baby to be sheltered. He's now an apprentice, an observer. He stays at a respectful distance, a shadow following shadows. He watches the adults transform into a silent, fluid unit, communicating with the flick of an ear or a momentary glance.
He sees his father, Borin, test the wind, deciphering invisible currents of scent. He watches 2 older sisters melt into the shadows on the far side of a meadow, where a herd of deer grazes, unaware.
This isn't a random chase. It's strategy. The pack hunts the landscape itself, using gullies and ridges to its advantage.
Kael doesn't understand the intricate details yet, but he is absorbing it all.
He's watching a masterclass in cooperative predation.
The hunt climaxes with breathtaking speed. The deer finally bolt, but it's too late. They run directly into the hidden flankers.
The pack identifies and converges on a single, lagging individual.
The chase is short and brutal.
Kael watches, frozen, as his family works with devastating efficiency. He sees the strength from tug of war as his father gets a grip.
He sees the agility from games of chase as his sister dodges a slashing hoof.
The juveniles are kept back until the struggle is over. When they're finally allowed to come forward, the lead pair eats first, reinforcing the family structure.
There is no squabbling. It is an earned family meal.
He hasn't contributed, not yet.
but he has seen. He has begun to learn.
As Kael grows, now a powerful juvenile of 7 months, his confidence starts to outpace his experience. He feels the predator's instinct stirring, a pull toward action. This is the stage of tests, where theory is put into brutal practice. One afternoon, Kael spots what seems like a perfect opportunity. A young deer, isolated and unaware. A surge of overconfidence floods his system. He forgets the patient, coordinated strategy he's witnessed. He forgets teamwork. He breaks from the pack, misjudges the wind, and launches his attack from too far away. The deer vanishes, leaving Kael panting, alone, and humiliated. When he returns to the pack, the reaction isn't punishment, but something far more potent: social consequence. His father gives him a hard, unwavering stare. Some siblings pointedly ignore him. A failed hunt, born of impatience, is a waste of precious energy. The cold shoulder from his family is a lesson more powerful than any physical correction.
Individual glory is a dangerous fantasy.
Soon after, Kael faces a different kind of test. The pack has made a successful elk kill, but the scent of a large carcass can attract unwelcome visitors. A grizzly bear, a mountain of muscle and fur, emerges from the forest. This is not a predator the wolves can kill. A direct confrontation would be suicide. But abandoning such a vital food source isn't an option either.
What unfolds is a masterclass in risk management. The pack doesn't charge.
Instead, they become a fluid perimeter of gray bodies.
Two wolves dart in, nipping at the bear's haunches before dancing away.
As the bear whirls, another feints an attack from the side. Kael, for the first time, is part of this dangerous choreography. His role is minor but essential. He stays on the outer edge, barking furiously, adding his voice to the chorus of intimidation. The encounter is a tense stalemate. The bear is too powerful to be driven off entirely.
But the pack's relentless harassment makes it impossible for it to claim the carcass.
In the end, the bear tears away a chunk of meat and retreats. The pack has saved most of their meal.
Kael learns that not all battles are won through force.
Some are won through intelligence, persistence, and the truth that even the most formidable individual can be thwarted by a family that refuses to back down. Winter has come. The easy prey of summer is gone. Hunger is a constant, gnawing pressure. Deer are wary. To survive, the pack must target more formidable prey, like elk. Hunting a deer is a challenge. Hunting a full-grown bull elk is a war. A single elk is a fortress of muscle, bone, and antlers. Capable of killing a wolf with one kick. For Kael, now nearly a year old but still a novice, this is the ultimate test. The pack locates a lone, old bull. The adults move with a gravity Kael has never seen before. There is no room for error. To find a weakness. Kael is no longer a spectator. He is a junior participant. His role is not to make the kill, but to help create the conditions for it. His job is to be a nuisance, running along the flanks, his sharp yaps adding to the cacophony. The ground trembles. The air is thick with the snorting of the elk and the smell of fear. Kael is running on pure adrenaline. Then, crisis. The bull, angered by the harassment, whirls and charges directly at him. In a heartbeat, Kael is no longer a hunter.
He is the prey.
The world narrows to a mountain of dark fur and sharpened antlers thundering towards him. He freezes, his mind wiped clean by terror. This is the ordeal. He survives not through skill, but through pure instinct. At the last second, he dives sideways into a deep snowdrift. As the elk thunders past, the pack, seeing the bull distracted, capitalizes on the chaos. The lead hunters converge on the massive animal. The real fight begins now, a desperate battle of stamina and strength at 20 degrees below zero. Kael, shaken and covered in snow, scrambles to his feet. The ordeal is over, but the hunt has just reached its critical point.
The battle with the old elk is a grueling war of attrition. The pack works with the desperate, focused energy of wolves who know failure means starvation. They latch onto its hind legs, trying to slow it, dodging its kicks and charges. It takes what feels like an eternity. But finally, exhausted, the elk collapses. The pack is drained. Kael cautiously approaches, a strange mix of terror and exhilaration still coursing through him. He didn't land a decisive bite. He didn't execute a brilliant move.
In fact, his inexperience almost got him killed.
And yet, he was there. His frantic yapping, his presence on the flank, his foolishness that drew the bull's charge, it was all part of the chaos the pack used to unnerve their prey.
His small, flawed contribution was still a contribution.
The hunt was successful, not because of him. But his participation marked his transition from student to a true apprentice hunter. This is the reward.
It isn't a solo kill. That concept is meaningless here. The reward is the kill itself, a mountain of life-sustaining meat earned by the collective. It's the right to stand among the pack, not as a dependent, but as a contributor. He has earned his place at this feast. As the pack finally begins to feed, Kael is no longer on the periphery.
He is part of the victory, and he eats alongside his siblings,
Tearing at the tough hide to get to the rich meat beneath.
The taste is electric, charged with the memory of the chase, the fear, and the ultimate triumph. Looking at his family, his father, Borin, with a fresh gash on his shoulder. His mother, Anka, weary but relentless.
His siblings, all bearing marks of the struggle, Kael understands. His first kill was never going to be a moment of solitary conquest. It was a chaotic, clumsy, terrifying, and ultimately successful collaboration. It was the final, brutal exam in a curriculum that began in the darkness of the den.
With his first warm, regurgitated meal. The helpless pup who couldn't see or hear is now a hunter.
But his strength, he now realizes, doesn't truly lie in his own teeth or claws. It resides in the collective knowledge passed down through generations.
In the flawless coordination of his family.
and in the bond that compels them to risk their lives for one another.
He is strong because his pack is strong.
He will survive the winter, not because he has learned to kill, but because he has learned to hunt together. In the unforgiving wilderness, the lone wolf is a myth.
The pack is the reality.
And survival is always a team sport. The story of the wolf is a story of family, intelligence, and a bond that can overcome any obstacle. If you were captivated by this journey, subscribe and join our pack for more incredible stories from the wild.